Okay, so this is going to be a smaller video, and what we're going to talk about is basically the character order and their functions, because I've seen a lot of people ask around and are confused about what order should they play the characters they want to play in KoF 15. And the short answer is, if you're a completely new player, be it to KoF or fighting games in general, my advice is try out 3 or 4 characters that you like, and then the one that you feel most comfortable with, put them as your last character, and the one that you're least comfortable with, put them as your first. This is because your first character is the character that will get the most playtime, especially against other new players. Both sides will start with no meter, so mistakes are less punishing, and the neutral overall is less chaotic. There's less EX moves and less supers. And if you win, you get to play that same character for another round. If, however, you want to play a more optimized position, there's a few roles that the characters fill. The main thing you want to realize is that the positions in general are mainly focused around how well your character can build or use the meter. Characters that can build meter really well are usually put first, and characters that need the meter or use it well will be put in later positions. So we'll start with your first character, or your point character. This is the easiest position to fill with almost any character. The main roles this slot fills is usually either a battery or a control character. A battery character is a character that can build meter really well. These are characters that will use a lot of specials and generally don't use that much meter. So they'll play around and get some meter for the characters that will come in later, which will need more bar to play with. And then you have the control character. This term is a bit vague, but what it means is it's a character that's self-sufficient, meaning they can run their whole game plan without really needing to use any meter. And the control characters are generally flexible. You can put them in almost any position and they work just fine. But you would put them as your first character in order to utilize the fact that the opponent doesn't have any meter, or the fact that you don't need any meter to play with. Some of these examples are grapplers or zoners. For grapplers, the idea is that mistakes will be less punishing because the opponent doesn't have any meter, and means they also have less options to keep you out, so you can get in easier to use your grabs. Same deal for the zoners. The opponent has less meter to use their anti-zoning options, and it means that if they do happen to get in, you won't get hurt as badly. And now for the middle position. This is a position that you either put a flexible character in, or a control character, or a second control character, or even an anchor, which we'll talk about in a bit. In this position, you'll put a character that doesn't really need that much meter, but they can use some of it while leaving a bit for the third character. So you'll put characters that can still play around and have their whole game plan intact, even if they didn't use meter, but if they did, they will do some serious damage. And then you have your last character, or the anchor. This should be your strongest character. The last character can hold up to 5 bars, so this means that they can do the most damage. This is the character that should be explosive and be able to run the whole thing back even if you lose your first 2 characters. Anchor characters are usually very threatening if they have even a bit of bar, so that's why a lot of players will have at least 1 battery on their team. Now, this whole sort of positioning used to be much more impactful in the older games. In KoF 14 and also in 15, when you lose a character, your next character will come in with a free extra bar. So you don't need to have a dedicated battery to make the whole team composition work. But it will help you if you want your next characters to have more meter to play with. Now, how you want to order the team is up to you. A lot of people will play battery, control, anchor, or you can have 2 batteries and an anchor that's really meter hungry, or you can even do 3 control characters. As long as you don't do 3 anchors, your team should be fine. And just keep in mind, these are suggestions. It means that the character usually is played in this position, like, oh, Angel is usually a point character. This doesn't mean that you can't play her second or third. How you order the team is up to you. This should just give you a vague idea of what each character usually does in each position, so that you have a team that works better and you don't have 3 meter hungry characters in the team, as you're making things a bit harder for yourself. So yeah, don't take these to heart. The whole point of this video is try not to put 3 anchors back to back. A character that's mainly a battery is gonna struggle as an anchor, as they don't have the explosive power to make a comeback. Similarly, an anchor character doesn't benefit from being put on first, as they don't have the meter to fully utilize their strength. But that should be it. I just wanted to address this subject because a lot of people keep asking, oh, what position should I play this character in or that character in? At first, just put the character that you're comfortable with last, and then your character that you're still awkward with or not sure what to do with, put them first. You'll get to play with them a bit more until you get used to them, and then you'll realize, okay, I want my Iori to have meter to do this. Okay, I want Robert first because I don't want them to have the supers to punish my zoning. or I want to use this move a bit more. And obviously I didn't list every single character because there's still a lot of changes that we don't know about and moves that we're not even sure the characters have or what they do yet. This should basically just give you an idea of how you should structure the team once the game drops. Yeah, this game does not have tagging or assists or anything like that, so team composition is not as big of a deal. You can be very flexible with where you put the character. I hope this answered your character positioning and the order questions. And that's it. See you in the next one. Peace!